What up? BigHerc916. Positivity, motivation, never settle for average. You know how we do it over here. Man, I know a lot of you guys loved Obama. You were excited to have the first black president in office, quote unquote. But some of the shit that I hear being promoted, and this is no offense to gay or homosexual people. I've had people in my family that were gay. It's like, I have nothing against that. But this comment right here really puts it in a perspective of why he did very little for the black community, and he really favored helping the LGBT community for what it is. And hey, you know, if that's who you want to endorse, that's cool. I don't have nothing against them either. I'm just saying, keep it 100. Don't lie to the people. You didn't give a damn about black people, and you don't give a damn about young black men.
And
check it out.
That's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy.
Mm-hmm. One dad.
No matter how good the dad
is. He can't be everything.
He can't be everything. And that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly gay folks still weren't out of line, who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant. You need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or what have you, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Right? So
you hear that comment, right? And I've been around strong black male figures, guys who had dads that took care of them, that showed them how to be men. And I never heard of anybody saying that you got to have a gay professor in order to show you how to be a better father because a father can't do everything. Why not? Why can't your dad do everything for you? Why can't your dad show you how to grow up and have some grit, how to learn coping mechanism, how to struggle through trials and tribulations, how to overcome adversity, how to be a winner in life? What does having a gay professor have to do with anything about raising a young man? This is crazy, man. As these people get comfortable and they just put it right in your face, they tell you exactly what their agenda is and what they promote and how they feel about things. And this shit right here is crazy to me, man. You know, it's one thing if you're a single parent, you have a mother who's trying to raise a young man, and there's a lot of feminine energy in there. And so the males have a tendency to be more emotional. They have a harder time dealing with confrontation. They result in violent outbreaks rather than rationalizing because they haven't been taught that. But to think that you're going to have this guy come in and because he's gay, which, like I said, if you, whatever your sexual preference is, that's your business. But to think that that's going to help you become a better man, as far as the father figure not being there, or even if he is there, it just doesn't make sense to me, man. This is just like some way out stuff, man. And this is what a lot of people, when you sit back and you think about the people you put in power, the people that you think you put in power, but these people are really positioned for you to think that you chose them, but they've already been selected. They've already been. You go to the ballot. You think you're voting. You got two people. Both are from the same party. Really, it's just they pretend to be like there's someone different, and they don't really give a damn about the people, man. It was a critical time in history for them to put a quote unquote black man in office and have everybody shucking and jiving, thinking, oh man, it's party now, party time. And when you just look at the results and you talk about like uh, policies and what took place during Obama's administration, what was gained financially, economically, what changed among so-called all you guys who support the black community who thought that this man was going to be your savior. See, that's the problem. Everybody's looking for some saving grace. You got to save yourself, and you got to do your research and history when you start getting behind these people thinking that they really give a damn about you, because none of them, and I'm not saying the Republicans or the Democrats like they're any different. I don't mess with the voting thing. I don't even believe the voting system works, period. Because if they have the ability to send a drone strike from across the world and can monitor somebody walking with a satellite, you mean to tell me they can't fix the voting machines? Come on, man. They can't stage different things and make it appear to be what it is, regardless of the outcome. And like I said, the person who really could even make a difference, he's not a part of that club. So that person never makes the main ballot. They get pushed off or get bought out. So you're not really having a choice. And if you look at where the narrative, right around the time this man was in office, is when you seen a shift. And now you got books in Barnes and Nobles teaching young kids about sexuality they shouldn't even be talking about, man. All that came in through that Obama administration, all that push towards the transgender, letting them into prisons, all this, you had in the military. This is when it all came about. And like I said, privately do your thing. I don't care. I remember when I was growing up, they used to have those shows, and they were like, they would dress up and they had the burlesque shows, and they would perform, but it was all adults. The men come in there and put the wigs on, whatever. But these were like actors. It wasn't targeting kids. I never heard when I was growing up about anybody dressing up like a woman going to a children's school and teaching young kids whether or not they know their sexuality. I never heard of nothing like that in the 70s or 80s or even in the early 90s. I never heard of that shit. Not until the last, right around the time your guy got in office and started pushing the narrative, and then it just went down a slippery slope, man. I was nervous, scared to death. You going in to you had to bring a waiver into class to take sex ed class when I was a junior, and you had to get permission, and everybody in there was like, it was very embarrassing. I mean, so only imagine what are you doing telling that to a kid under 10 years old? You don't even know what the hell's going on, man. I didn't know what this thing was. I didn't know, you play with girls and maybe, had tea time, and you played t-ball and baseball and they were on a team, but you never thought about them sexually. And that's what they're doing now. And all this came about around that time. This shit is crazy. And this is, look, young man, see what I'm saying? Why are you introducing kids to this shit? This is what I'm talking about, man. And people just, see, people sometimes don't want to call out stuff, even though, because they like the person, even though they're saying the wrong shit. Your mind as a young man is not even mature until you're 25. Why the hell are you talking about this to a young kid? This is what I'm talking about. And I'm talking about even if it was on the straight side. Even if you're talking about kids and adult stuff and anything to do with pornography. You don't talk to kids about that stuff. They don't need to know about pornography, all of that stuff. They don't need to know about that. So I'm not even picking on the gays or homosexual. I'm talking about in general sexuality. You shouldn't come to school and have a stripper for young kids. They don't need to know about that. Why? This is the bullshit, man. This is the bullshit. This is the whole decline of America and its values, and just, you know, slowly trying to, you know, put this stuff into the whole conversation, make it normalized. And man, like I said, if you're an adult shit is cool, but children are sacred. They don't know. I thought I was Aquaman. I thought I was Spider-Man. I thought I could be Batman. I had all climbing trees, thought I could swing, do all kind of crazy shit. I was a little kid. I didn't know shit. And I still didn't know shit until my mid late 20s, when I realized, man, I got a lot to learn, and I'm still learning. But I'm not going to tell no kid no bullshit. And if you got a dad who handles his business, who's a role model, who's there for his family, man, shit, I used to be jealous when I seen guys had dads and they would take them to baseball games and out to the racetrack to watch cars, drag strip, and teach them how to throw a football, play catch with them. You know, so what is that dad? What does he need help for? Your dad don't need no goddamn help. People like who say that stuff, that's poison, man. Leave a comment, share the channel. Let me know what you think about this comment, man.
Never settle for average. Go to BigHerc916.com. Photos are coming. I gotta hurry up and wash my ass. Go to BigHerc916.com, pick you up a bar of soap, and wash your ass, or else you're gonna be under arrest too. Oh,